What happens when you mix PETG with concrete and an ancient symbol? You get a stepping stone that glows with good vibes. For this one, I embedded a PETG plastic window that was 3D printed right in the center. But instead of just leaving it clear or translucent, I printed a yin-yang shape inside. So when the light shines through, you get that iconic contrast from dark to light. It's part art, part path, and totally unique. In this video, I'll walk you through the whole process from 3D printing the insert, casting the concrete, and lighting it up at the end. Let's get started. Welcome back to Timber West Design, where we talk timber, shade structures, and outdoor living. The goal for this project was to combine lighting and design into something functional for the outdoors. I wanted to create a stepping stone that doesn't just look cool in the day, but transforms at night by embedding a translucent insert with a yin-yang design. My aim was to play with contrast, both visually and symbolically. And as always, I wanted to test how concrete and 3D printing can work together to create something visually stunning for the outdoors. Here are the supplies you're going to need for this project. Cementol or mortar mix. I use both. On this particular project, I used mortar mix, and I don't have the bag to show you, but it's from Rapid Set. You can use Cementol or their mortar mix. Cementol has a higher exotherm, cures faster. Rapid Set mortar mix, lower exotherm, and less cracking on mass. After that, you're going to need a scale. You're going to need a way to mix it. I love this drill mixer. You'll need a mold. You can get the files on my website. You'll need some mold release. After that, you'll prime it, then spot putty and sandpaper, and then once you have that ready for painting, you'd use a base coat. I use this flex stone on top of it. The base coat really dramatically affects the color, so this combination is really critical. You want to probably test it out to see if you're trying something new. And clear coat. This is not really designed for exterior use, so I put an exterior clear. It's a satin that protects this paint for outside use. You need the light source. This is a string light with a solar panel. I got this on Amazon. I'll put the link in the description. Let's get started. So this is the shape we came up with for the step. I kind of call this an organic square. A little rounded on the side, rounded on the corners. So this is too big for the printer in one piece, so I have to cut it in fourths. So we take a chunk and make it into 1/4. And I'm going to make a mold off of that one section. So now I have this part right here. I'll print this 4 times, and this will make the mold. Now the insert is going to be the translucent part. This is the yin-yang shape that'll be printed in there. I also have this one where it has the bare feet, which is kind of cool too. So I can print that, and then we'll print this translucent here and print it darker on the negative space here. So we'll send this to the printer. It's always fun to see my digital creation come to life on the 3D printer. I'm looking forward to putting this one together. The 3D printer's been busy. We've got 4 parts, so we're going to put these together like so. And take our bolts to hold it all together. After all the bolts are installed, we just take our wrenches and snug them up. Nothing too tight, just good and snug, and we are ready. So our next step, so what I did is I marked positions for my center insert so I could have it in the middle. The next step is mold release. So what we're going to do is we're going to spray this with some canola oil. Make sure we got a good amount. Take our brush and get it nice and spread out. Evenly distributed everywhere. So we just want to make sure it's going to pull. So we're just about there to get some cement rolling, and I'll see you in a minute. So I 3D printed these inserts that are going to go in the middle. They're out of PETG translucent. But then what I also did, in the negative space of the image, I printed a solid color. Let me show you how that looks against the studio lights. So here it is with the backlight strong. You can see the feet. I also did this yin-yang shape, and I haven't decided which one I'm going to put in yet. So I'm going to flip a coin and we're going to pick one of these two. It was heads. Yin-yang won. So what we're going to do is line it, and they need to clamp this down. So I'm going to take some 2x2s, position this in place, and get it ready for casting. Main thing is just to hold it in place so it doesn't move, so no concrete seeps underneath, or very little anyway. That's the goal. That's what we're trying for. Nice, clean No concrete underneath the insert. I like to break up my mixes into a little bit smaller mixes, and I'm making actually 3 mixes. Just it's easier to deal with, easier to get a good consistent mix when you have smaller batches, so that's what we're doing. So we're just gonna scrape it out. We're just gonna spread this out a little bit. Make sure it's all evenly up against the insert, and get going on our next mix. Mix number 2. Let's get this all spread out. So we're just gonna get this all kind of spread out. We'll get it really spread out when we do the next pour. Mix number 3. This is gonna be a little trickier to get nice and flat. Just go around this thing, spread it out nicely. I'll get my proper concrete trowel out here in a second. Get this all filled up. So this mortar mix is definitely thicker than what I normally use with the Demolding, but my trade-off was exotherm and hopefully not cracking because it's getting so hot. All right, time to get the trowel out and get this smooth. Just get it a little bit smooth. You know, this is the bottom. It's gonna be against the ground. Doesn't have to be perfect, but we want it reasonably flat. So I think I'm gonna be good for a few minutes. As it sets up, I'll kind of tool this a little bit more to get a little nicer. But it's time to clean up my tools, my bucket. It's been overnight. Let's take the clamps off. And we've got some flaws. Well, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna mix up a little bit of cement. I'll fill this in, do that quick little repair, and then we'll pull the mold. So this mortar mix that I used is definitely thicker, so it didn't run in like the Demolding that I normally use. So we're just gonna put some Demolding in here. I decided to knock that edge down because I didn't want to get debris into the void. So we'll just knock it all down after. But just kind of fill this in. The cement all levels off nicely. We'll get this thing repaired in no time. And you'll never know how to repair. So I think this will work out fine. We'll probably let this go a couple hours. Let this dry well enough, and see you in a few hours. While the concrete sets up, a quick reminder, at Timber West Design, we custom build timber pergolas and pavilions, and we ship them anywhere in the continental US. These aren't prefabbed kits. Every structure is made to order and designed to match your space. Head over to timberwestdesign.com where you can set up a free consultation with me to design your ultimate outdoor space. Our patchwork is dry enough that we can pull this whole thing. So what we're gonna do is flip the mold this way and start unbolting. So just loosen them all up, and we'll be popping this thing soon. These started to come loose as I was unbolting, so this is going to be a really easy pull. Just pop right off, and that's what we got. Turned out good. I got a little bit of bleed in, so I'll take a putty knife and just kind of clean that up a little bit. We'll let this dry out for a day or so. I'll sand the parting lines. When we sand, we've got to be very careful not to get sandpaper on the translucent part. But I think this is going to turn out really good. So we'll see in a little bit after this dries out. We're back. This is dried enough to start sanding. So what I'm going to do is take a block. We just have the parting line area and just a few little things where I touched up some concrete that we just want to smooth out. Also on sanding, don't scratch the PETG. So just carefully come in here, sand it, get it smooth. Pretty much smooth to the touch. If you can't feel it, it's close enough for priming. So I'll go around this whole thing, make sure it's nice and smooth. Then I'm gonna prime it. Now what I did, I could either mask this off or I 3D print this little disc that just fits in right in here. And when I spray, I will not get overspray on this part. So that's the plan. I'm not gonna paint on film because this is too big for my booth. So I'll be back in a bit with the primed part. I'll get to the next step. The primer's dry, and when you prime it, then it really starts showing some of the flaws. So we've got a few little spots we're gonna hit. I'm gonna use a textured paint, so it doesn't need to be perfect because the texture will cover a lot of this, but we're gonna take a glove Take some spot putty, smear it into some of the spots that need a little attention. And what I'll do is I'll go through this whole thing, and then once this dries, it takes about an hour or two to dry, I'll hit it all with 150 grit sandpaper. If there's another spot here or there, I might touch it up one more time with spot putty, and then we'll get ready for paint. I want to thank this week's sponsor, Pale Blue Batteries. You know, I like nice high-end flashlights, and you know what powers my flashlights? Pale Blue rechargeable batteries. What I like about them is I can take a power bank on the go. There's a USB-C port right on the battery. I can plug it in, charge on the go. Pale Blue batteries, they're awesome. The paint job's all done, looks beautiful. Let me walk you through what I did for this. So on top of the primer, I did a base color of this. Then on top of that, I do 2 coats of the Flexstone paint. So do a coat, wait about 30-40 minutes, and then do a little bit of a heavier coat. On top of the Flexstone, then I clear coat it. The Flexstone is really not designed for exterior use, so I put a top coat protective coating on there, which is designed for exterior use, just to help to protect the surface. So now I 3D printed this little fixture that's going to hold the lights. This will go inside, and this is gonna follow the yin-yang shape. So what we're gonna do is just start on here, and then we'll just do the perimeter. I'm gonna go probably about 5 times around on the perimeter. There's 1. Just keep it snug, not too tight, but definitely not loose. You don't want it to come off. Let's see, that's 2. Keep going around. That's 3. That's 4. Let's try one more time around. Okay. So that's 5. So now we're going to do more the yin-yang shape. So we're going to come around here. And now it's just a matter of zigzagging across. I'm just going to go back and forth. This area is the dark, and this is going to be the light section. And so we just want to make sure we have plenty of light here. So it's just kind of random. Don't have any specific pattern. Just kind of go across. And then we're going to get to the end, we'll put it in, and we'll get to that point. Okay, I'm at the end. I'm just going to tack a blob of hot glue just to hold that in place. And let that cool off for a minute, and then we'll install it. So my little dab of hot glue is dry. So now the key is getting this light portion over here oriented to that. And then we're going to tack this in place with the hot glue gun. I like the orientation right there, so we're going to flip it down and do the hot glue. Just go around, just do a bead all the way around. And there's no worry about getting any insects where I don't want them. And you know what? I think we're ready to install this thing. So let's talk about the light source. So I have the string light. I got it on Amazon. It comes with this solar panel. It has this lead. It's about, I don't know, 5 feet long lead. You can stick this in the ground. Make sure it gets some decent sun, and then it has a gauge in there, a meter, to let you know when it's dark, it comes on. So if I put my hand over it, on and off, and then you have different modes on here you can click. So it's kind of a cool little unit and not very expensive. So I'll put a link to this in the description, and then let's install this. Here are the stepping stones installed. The yin yang really looks great with the sun one that we did previously. I really like these stepping stones, and I'm gonna be using them a lot in the future. So lessons learned for this project: I normally use Cementol for most of my casting. The drawback to Cementol, it cures fast and it has a high exotherm. And I had a decent amount of mass on a previous step like that, and I got some cracking. So what I did is I used some rapid scent mortar mix, and it has a lower exotherm, but it's thicker, it doesn't flow quite as well. So I had some pockets I had to repair that I probably would not have as much to repair on the Cementol. Other than that, I mean, this turned out good. It's nice and strong. It's going to work well. I just had a little more cosmetic work to do with mortar mix than with Cementol. Overall, I'm pleased. So there it is, a glowing yin-yang stepping stone that'll bring a little balance to your path, day or night. I love how the light reveals the design, and another example how concrete and 3D printing can make some fun projects for your outdoor space. If you'd like to build this project for yourself, The digital mold files will be on my website at timberwestdesign.com. And if you're interested in a custom concrete piece, whether it's a fire feature, stepping stone that's custom to you, anything else like that, go to my website, reach out, and we can come up with something fun for you as well. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And remember, and I forgot what I was supposed to remember. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And remember, creativity is only a 3D print away. We'll see you next week.